Well, good morning everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Garden Backyard. And in today's video, we are going to go out and look at tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, romaine lettuce, and we're also going to look at those green beans again. And I'm going to go back and get some still shots of what these things look like at various times in the past, and let you compare. So let's go. So as we go to the garden today, I'm going to show you a couple of plants that I haven't shown before as I walk back to the green beans. Now this is called Perillo, and this is a plant that is actually edible. It grows like a weed. It spreads seeds if you let it mature. And these all just came up volunteer. And you take the leaves when they're about this size and you break them off, and then as you're eating meat, you wrap the meat in the leaves and just chew it up. Believe it or not, it tastes good. It's kind of what they call Asian sesame. So anyway, that's what Perillo is. These are bellflowers. And if anybody knows about bellflowers, they're supposed to be like ginseng. My wife will dig these roots up about every 2 or 3 years. And of course, then she makes different potions and drinks. And we eat the bellflower roots, but they actually make a beautiful display as they're growing. Okay, the next video that I want to revisit is going to be what tomato growers ought to do now. And so here's where I came out and I tied the tomato plants, and I tied the runners, and now we can see that at all these different levels on this plant, I have just got masses of tomatoes. And I see one tomato here that has split, and it's not worth saving. Let's just take it on off. And the reason is, if you get one like this and bugs get in there, you just give them a place to live. So if you get a bad tomato that just doesn't form right, take it off. All right, here's more right in here. And then there are more right in here, more up here, more actually putting on here as it goes through the fence. More down here, more up here, more here, more in here. And I think we get the picture of what's going on with these tomatoes. You see there's plenty of foliage up above them to keep them from getting the what do you call it, sunburned, sun scald. And so that's the reason that I don't want to take all this foliage off and let them get sun scald. So they've even made nice tomatoes on the other side as the branches have pushed through. I had to go through and tie those up. And I think this is enough examples. Look at the size of those. I'll put my fist down here. Yeah, we got fist-sized tomatoes coming here. And so far I have only showed you 4 plants. All these tomatoes on just 4 plants. So that is why I don't trim the suckers, and I just tie them up laterally to a fence trellis. Okay, we'll go on to the beans. But here are the green beans. So these are all nice and tied up. We had a big thunderstorm the other day, and not a single plant was lost. We had 40-mile-an-hour winds, and not a single plant was lost. And they are loaded with green beans. Just a few more days, and it's going to be a big harvest of green beans. I'll show you under these leaves. There you go. These are picking size. And so that's, you can see they blooming, making little green beans. And you have to go down in here. And once you get down in there, you will see the green beans. So the first green beans are going to be a little harder to find. Here B doing his work this morning. Okay, and we're going to look at the pole beans now from this side. And as I have shown before, they're filling in very nicely by moving the runners from side to side. This area here is the current area I'm working on, and as you can see, they are filling in, and I've got the runners coming on up to the top, so it's going to fill in just like the rest of it. But let's go on around and look at it a little more. Okay, we're in here now. What happens is, of course, they're going to get all the way to the top, and so I'm going to pull these back down and just kind of poke them through here. And there's going to be, as I've mentioned before, a big mass at the top, but there's still going to be pole beans up and down. And there's one that is blooming. Now the good thing about growing bush beans and pole beans together is the bush beans come in first, and of course they'll probably still be bearing when the pole beans come. So at some point I'm going to have so many green beans and pole beans, I'll be giving those away too. I do like to freeze those though, because they keep longer. So here is the side shoot that has come out from right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend it over and push it out through here. At some point there's going to be so much foliage on these things that you really just won't need to work them anymore. You just start looking for green beans. Here's one that has gotten all the way up to the top, and this looks like a perfect one to throw down into this hole, if I can get it down there. It's kind of hard to work the camera and do this with one hand, but I got it. So let's see, that hole is right there, and we're going to put it right in there like that. Okay, so we've once again filling up this hole with pole beans. You can see these going to the side. And believe it or not, I came out here and did this yesterday, and so these things, some of them are growing 8 inches, I think maybe a foot a day. But that's what we want. Okay, enough on those. Let's go back here and take a look at the lima beans. Now the lima beans are a little slower to run than the pole beans, but as you see, they're running out. And so they got this far, and I'm just letting this go on back up to the top. Same way this one has come out now from the second plant that's over here, and it has run all the way around and up and over. And these will actually produce until frost. For some reason the bugs don't like these, and these lima beans are very delicious. We'll be seeing those later on. And so as you can see, I've got this one all the way over meeting this one, and This one last night grew all the way up through here. And we'll just throw it down here. Okay, this one I'm going to put over here. And there we go. And once again, these are already bearing. And you can see the little lima beans getting bigger by the day. These don't come on as fast as green beans and fill out. It takes them 2 or 3 weeks to actually, from the time you see them until the time you can pick them. So, but the good thing is these plants are one of the strongest vining plants that I've got. So once they get going, they're unstoppable. On this one, we're pinching off the tops once they reach the top of the trellis. And I'm going to try to just kind of go down this one so you can see all the way down. And I've cut off the big leaves now. And so we're still coming down. And now we're at the bottom, and you can see where I have put some 7 dust on. So that's where the bugs will come up from. The very bottom. Now you can see the suckers that have came out. This is the first sucker, and it goes all the way to here, and as you can see, it's about to bloom. And then the second sucker is this one, and it's coming on up the fence. And then it made a sucker right here that went behind this post. And here is a cucumber. So the sucker has made a cucumber. Here's another one. I don't know if it's gonna make it, but we're coming on up this sucker. And as you can see, it has reached the top of the fence also, and I tied it on. Now I won't top it simply because at some point the bottom of the plant just cannot support all these suckers. So I don't want it to make any more suckers. As a matter of fact, here's one that I'm going to go ahead and pull off. And so that's one of them. There's a better example right here. So here is the original stalk, and it went up, and it's still going up, and now it's reached the top. Okay, and it made a sucker right here. The sucker came up and put on a cucumber right here. I mean, this is a nice one. It's about ready to pick. And then something ate the top out of it. So that sucker is finished, but it did make one very nice cucumber. Let's see, here's a good one. So this one, as you can see, here's the main stem. It went all the way up to here, all the way on up, across. It was falling over, so I had to tie it up. And then right here is where I cut the top off. Okay, so excuse me. So it came out all the way with it's made several cucumbers, but then the first sucker came out and immediately bloomed, and here's the cucumber that's on this first sucker, and the first sucker's right there. So it's not getting a whole lot of energy from the plant, but it put on a nice cucumber. Here's the second sucker, and as you can see, it has come up this way, and it has put on a cucumber. I don't know if that was going to get much bigger or not, but here's the third sucker, and it has put on another nice cucumber ready for picking, and it's going on up the fence. Looks like it's putting on more cucumbers here. And so anyway, I'm getting a second crop out of these cucumber plants by pinching the tops and paying attention to the suckers. And I think that's enough for this video on the cucumbers. Now, I showed how to transplant and to grow romaine lettuce. I guess it's been 4 to 6 weeks ago. I'll have to get the exact date. But anyway, here it is. And as you see, we've got full size, ready to harvest in the middle of June romaine lettuce out here. And that was the purpose of the video, is to show how easy this is, just to put in the ground, water it for 3 or 4 days in a row. When it's dry, water it some more, and otherwise just let this romaine lettuce grow. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a lot of people don't show results of, they'll tell you how to do something and then you kind of wonder if it actually worked or not. Well, I like to try to actually show people that there are results and what the results are. So I believe you can see that so far everything is working very nice in this garden. All right, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe and give us a like, and we'll see you on the next video.